Hi, my name is Natalie and I own a sales company that specializes in face-to-face sales. I'm the sole provider of my mom and grandma. They live at my house. I had to focus on understanding that a lot of people rely on me. Ever since I was little, I knew I wanted to be successful. I became an entrepreneur in the first place was because I knew I could bet on myself. COVID, the pandemic, was a really tough time because the industry that I was in got wiped out. So I ended up just being at home in Wisconsin, not really knowing what was gonna happen next. It was scary, especially because at the end of 2019, I just bought a new car. And so I have like this new car payment, but I have no income coming in. I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. There's a little bit of a bigger market than Wisconsin. So I thought that I could take my talents there. We had a little bit more opportunity with the clients. And I was making it work and it was happening. At that point, I had to figure out whether I wanted to quit the industry because I had, not been making money for 2 or 3 years, or take on a different skill set. And it was a really hard, decision for me because I had already invested so many years. And COVID, really hurt my business where I went down money and I wasn't able to pay myself anything. So I, completely started over. I was approached with a new client called Car Keys Express. And in order for me to transition into it, I had to, learn the business from the ground up all over again, which I had already done. And at first I was not excited to go back into the field, go direct sales face-to-face and learn that client from start to finish. And I honestly thought about walking away, but I had already committed to being, a business owner and learning the skills. And I had spent so many years mastering those skills that if I was going to bet on anybody, it had to be myself. And, ever since then, it's been really great. It would have definitely been easier for me to quit after COVID and just went and found a job and got a consistent, stable paycheck. Especially because my first sales independent company failed. And I was watching other people around me in the same industry doing so great, but I wasn't seeing the same outcome as them. And most of the time it was my fault. I was, not doing what I needed to do like those other people. So when post-COVID knocked out that industry, I was really thinking about quitting and doing something else, but I had to remind myself that, I have to do this not only for myself, but because I'm the sole provider of my mom and grandma. They live at my house. And I was able to do that because I didn't give up on myself. I gave it one last shot with a fresh attitude, a fresh mentality, a fresh work ethic. And I probably wouldn't have been able to do that in a normal corporate America position. It was 1000% humbling learning all the sales on a new client because I had spent 5 years prior to that getting to a point where I learned, ran my own company and I had other sales reps doing that. So to go from that to having zero, it was definitely humbling. I just put humility and ego aside. And I think a lot of people just aren't willing to do that. I think a lot of people are just, have this owed mentality, or a lot of people just think that, they care about people's opinions. And at that point I didn't. I had bigger things to deal with, which was taking care of my mom and grandma and paying bills that I haven't been able to pay for 6 months. So I really didn't have any ego to hold on to. It was either I figured out or I got out. Most of my success the second time around running my second company versus what happened 2 to 3 years ago really just boils down to the discipline that I instill in myself every single day. And leading every day with just so much gratitude and appreciation for the clients that I get to work with and my retail partners. I don't think I did that a lot when I ran my first company, which is why it failed. So now I just focus on making sure that I'm the best example in all categories when it comes to sales, metrics, mentoring, leadership, training. I'm really just taking my business and taking inventory on my business to make sure that I'm profitable and my guys are profitable and I'm giving back to the clients and the retailers. It has not been easy to generate this type of success on Car Keys Express. It definitely has been hard and it does require a lot of hard work, but I was so so willing to do it and be a student to it by just focusing on having the right habits and leading by example every single day. And over time, it's been getting a little bit easier. For me, I think, running a business is not for the faint of heart. It's not something that, you could just work 40 hours and expect to make 500,000. So I definitely put in the work. I still go out to the events and run the van personally every single day because one, it's fun. And two, it's how my business makes money. So as the leader of the company, it's my job to bring in income and teach my guys also how to bring in income. So it's really important that I make a note to be at the event every single week to make sure that I'm doing that. Being a leader of a company and being a leader of employees, it's so important that you're leading by example every single day. Nobody wants to follow a leader that just sits in their office and barks orders or tells them what to do, but couldn't go out there and do it the same. So it's really important that I spend a couple of days, a couple of hours at the events doing the face-to-face marketing with my guys and leading by example in absolutely everything that I do. Because if a leader or a business owner doesn't do that, then they can't scale. I would say my advice to someone that's struggling and not seeing results is take a step back and sit down and do an inventory on yourself and ask yourself, are you actually doing what other people are doing that are high producers? And chances are you're not. So if you can take an inventory on yourself, get with someone doing those things, then that's when the real success starts to happen. If you can partner up with someone like a mentor that can teach you what you're doing wrong and being really humble about that, then that's when you'll start to see results.